Exposed: How a maid's heartwarming gesture transformed a billionaire's cold heart in 30 days. In the heart of downtown Chicago, mornings buzzed with life, the streets alive with the honking of taxis and the chatter of commuters rushing to their offices. Amid this chaos stood Lily, a dedicated maid in her early 20s, who carried the weight of her family on her slender shoulders. Her small apartment was filled with pictures of her single mother and younger siblings, each framed moment whispering dreams of a better future. The struggles, the late nights, and the sacrifice, it all boiled down to one daily mantra: hard work pays off. On the other side of the city, in a lavish penthouse that gleamed with opulence, Robert Ward paced alone, shrouded in a fog of grief following a recent family loss. The immense wealth surrounding him felt like a gilded cage, trapping him under the suffocating expectations of his legacy. He was surrounded by luxury, yet the only warmth came from a distant memory of a simpler life. Their paths crossed every day as Lily arrived for work, the tension palpable between them, a classic embodiment of the social divide that lingered in America. Their first encounter crackled with hostility. Robert, accustomed to commanding respect, eyed Lily with disdain, while she trembled beneath his scrutinizing gaze, clutching her cleaning supplies like a shield. The fierce clash of nerves and arrogance ignited an immediate spark, signaling their disparate worlds. Yet amidst that tension, a glimmer of something deeper sparked within Lily, a determination to break through Robert's icy exterior. Weeks rolled by, and one day, something changed. Lily witnessed Robert's quiet sorrow when he gazed out over the skyline. That fragile moment moved her, compelling her toward a heartfelt decision. She discovered a way to reach his hollow core. Starting small, she left notes of encouragement in his favorite spots, sharing snippets of her family's struggles with each message. One day, she decided to treat him to a childhood favorite: a simple bowl of macaroni and cheese, a meal bursting with warmth and simplicity. In that moment, she hoped to spark a connection, to remind him of what love felt like. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As days folded into weeks, Robert's icy demeanor began to thaw. Unbeknownst to Lily, he looked forward to her kindness, and the emotional walls he'd built around himself started to crumble. Each encounter grew layered with warmth, igniting feelings in Robert he had long suppressed. Their world collided in a way neither could have predicted, culminating in an invitation to a lavish charity gala, an event pulsating with societal expectations and scrutiny. As the night approached, doubt twisted in Lily's stomach. Would the glittering elite accept her? Would Robert defend her, a girl from the wrong side of the tracks? And yet, amidst her anxiety, hope flickered like a candle in the dark. This moment could either shatter the bond they'd built or solidify their connection against the odds. As the clock struck midnight, their intertwined fates hung precariously in the balance. Would love flourish, or would the shadows of his family legacy tear them apart? The answer loomed just out of reach, waiting to unfold in this grand tapestry of their lives. As the evening of the gala unfolded, the penthouse buzzed with energy. Crystal chandeliers glittered above, casting soft light over elegantly dressed guests mingling in a sea of haute couture and affluence. Lily stood in front of her mirror, adjusting the simple yet elegant dress she had borrowed. The fabric hugged her curves and made her feel beautiful, even against the backdrop of shimmering gowns and tailored suits. Yet, self-doubt crept in with every passing second. What am I doing here? The thought nagged at her as she smoothed her hair and took deep breaths. Robert's invitation had felt like a leap into the unknown, and despite the warmth they'd built between them, the reality of their worlds felt like an unscalable wall. Would the others see her for the maid she was, or could she slip into the persona of being someone worthy in this realm? When she finally arrived at the venue, Robert was already there, radiating confidence in a fitted tuxedo that accentuated his stature. He spotted her immediately, his eyes lighting up with genuine joy, a stark contrast to the somberness he often wore. Stepping toward her, he extended his hand, and in that moment, all her fears began to dissolve, replaced by the strength of the connection they had nurtured over the weeks. "You look stunning," he murmured, tipping his head slightly with admiration. The sincerity in his voice sent her heart racing, silencing the self-doubt that had screamed louder than any crowd's might. "Thank you," she smiled shyly, taking his hand as he led her into the grand hall. The atmosphere pulsated with laughter and music, but for Lily and Robert, the world around them faded into a blur. They began to navigate the crowd, weaving through conversations filled with business deals and social facades. At first, whispers circled them like shadows, questions about who she was and why Robert chose her. But each time, Robert stood firm, introducing her with a proud smile and a protective arm around her waist. "Meet Lily, my date for tonight," he proclaimed, the steel in his voice silencing the murmurs as he confidently defied associations their social worlds imposed. As the night continued, they found quiet moments together, stealing away to the balcony where the glittering skyline stood witness to their unfolding story. Here, under the vastness of the star-speckled sky, they shared laughter, stories of vulnerability and dreams woven with hope. "I never thought I'd find someone like you in this world," Robert confessed, gazing deep into her eyes. "You've shown me what I thought I lost." Lily's breath caught at the weight of his words. She could feel the fragility of the moment hanging between them, the sweet tension of possibilities. Suddenly, the evening took a turn. A familiar face emerged from the crowd, Robert's estranged brother, Mark. He was just as polished as Robert, but there was a bitter edge in his eyes. Mark had always thrived on family expectations, exuding confidence that belied his arrogance. "Look who's gracing us with her presence," Mark sneered, his gaze sweeping over Lily dismissively. "What's next, Rob? A contest for the best charity case?" The laughter from the crowd faded, and an uncomfortable silence settled around them. Lily's heart raced. She felt exposed under the weight of judgment, the very insecurities she feared creeping back into her mind. But Robert's grip tightened around her shoulder, his expression hardening. "Enough, Mark. This isn't a game. Lily's more than you'll ever understand." In that heated moment, the world around them shifted. It was no longer just a night of glitz and glamour, it was a crucible defining their connection. As the tension crackled like static, Lily felt something shift within her, a resolve to stand firm not just beside Robert but for herself too. With Robert's defense echoing in her heart, she took a deep breath, ready to confront whatever lay ahead. But could their bond withstand the icy grip of family expectations, or would it be consumed by past grudges? The next chapter of their story loomed, unveiling a fight for love against the odds. Would they rise together, or would the shadows of the past take hold once more? The air was thick with tension as Lily turned to Robert, seeking reassurance in his gaze. His eyes burned with intensity, an unspoken promise that he wouldn't let Mark's words cut them down. But the truth settled heavily on her heart. "I can't let this get to me," she whispered, half to herself. "Let it go," Robert replied, his voice steady. "We're here together, and that's what matters." Lily nodded, letting his words sink in. She wanted to be stronger, for him and for herself. As they resumed mingling, the crowd still buzzed, but the whispers felt less penetrating now, like passing shadows rather than walls. They moved towards a group near the bar where laughter blended with the clinking of glasses. Robert's friends welcomed her, their smiles genuine, and for a moment, she felt like she belonged. A woman in a striking red gown, with bright curls and a radiant smile, approached them with open arms. "Lily. So lovely to finally meet you." "I'm Sarah," she said, enveloping Lily in a warm hug. "Robert's told us so much about you." Surprise lit up Lily's face. "He has?" It felt good to be recognized, to have a piece of herself acknowledged in Robert's world. Of course. You're an incredible influence on him, Sarah continued, winking. Lily couldn't help but smile. It was refreshing, lightening the heavy atmosphere created by Mark's presence. After a few more exchanges, Robert excused himself to grab another drink, leaving Lily momentarily adrift in a sea of conversation. As she talked with Sarah and others, she felt the shyness melt away. Perhaps this night wouldn't just be about facing rejection and judgment. Maybe it was also about finding acceptance. The laughter was infectious, and soon Lily found herself sharing snippets of her life. And I can still remember the chaos of the holidays at home, 7 cousins running around, all fighting for the best cookie. She gestured animatedly, feeling more at ease with every word. Sounds like just the right mix of madness and joy. Sarah chuckled, as applause followed Lily's storytelling. But the temporary bliss shattered when Mark re-entered the scene, his presence as chilling as the first gust of winter air. He flanked Robert, who rolled his eyes at the sight of his brother. "Hope you're not boring Lily with tales of your humble beginnings," Mark said with a smirk, eyes glinting with mischief. Lily felt the color drain from her face, caught between the warmth she had just embraced and the coldness Mark threw at her. But instead of shrinking back, something ignited in her. "I'm quite proud of my beginnings, actually. They've shaped who I am today," she replied, meeting Mark's gaze without flinching. A murmur rippled through the guests nearby, surprised by her calm defiance. Mark's expression faltered, caught off guard. "Interesting perspective," he replied, masking his surprise with a scoff. Lily felt a flicker of triumph. She had stood her ground, and in that moment, she realized she belonged here not by wealth or status but by her essence. Robert stepped closer, pride radiating from him. "Lily's strength is what I admire the most. You might want to listen to her." Before Mark could retort, Robert turned to the group, steering the conversation, leaving Mark behind like the fading sound of a bad joke. Lily felt a rush of relief wash over her. With Robert by her side, the shadows that had tormented her began to dissipate, and her heart soared with new possibilities. But just as she opened her mouth to speak, Robert suddenly stiffened, scanning the crowd. "Lily, I think it's time you meet my mother." Panic clawed at her chest. "Your mother? Here?" "Yes," he nodded, determination etched on his face. "Tonight, we need to take that step." With excitement and fear swirling inside her, she realized they were about to face the greatest test yet. Would she rise to the occasion or falter under the weight of family expectations? The moment of truth was drawing near. Lily's heart raced in her chest, a chaotic flutter of nerves and anticipation. The prospect of meeting Robert's mother twisted her stomach into knots. What would she think of her? Would she see past Lily's background and recognize the person she fought to become? In that moment, the noise around her faded away, leaving only the pounding of her heartbeat. Robert reached out, clutching her hand, as if sensing her dread. "It's okay. We'll do this together," he murmured, grounding her with his presence. As they moved through the crowd, Lily couldn't help but notice people glance their way, curious, judging, and a hint of envy reflecting in their eyes. She had to steel herself against their scrutiny. With every step, she repeated the mantra that had lodged itself in her mind, "I am enough." The crowd parted as they approached a corner where a distinguished woman stood, radiant in a sea of over-the-top jewels and tailored elegance. Robert's mother, Evelyn, had a presence that was impossible to ignore, her head held high like she owned the room. And in that instance, sorrow wrapped itself around Lily's heart. Could she live up to the image of perfection standing before her? "Mother," Robert greeted warmly, breaking Lily from her thoughts. The older woman turned sharply, the coldness in her gaze melting into surprise. "Robert," she began, her tone suggesting she hadn't expected him to bring company. Just as Lily opened her mouth to introduce herself, Evelyn's eyes flicked over to her, sizing her up in a single sweep. "And who is this?" Her words dripped with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Lily, she replied, summoning every ounce of courage. I've been getting to know Robert. Each word felt like a step into a minefield. She braced for impact. Ah, well, it's nice to meet you, Evelyn managed, though the attempt felt forced. Lily swallowed, aware of the undercurrents of awkwardness. Robert squeezed her hand tighter, sending a quiet message of reassurance. Lily has an incredible spirit, Robert jumped in, defending her against the chilly silence that hung in the air. She's achieved so much on her own, and I admire her for that. Evelyn raised an eyebrow, clearly unconvinced. Does she now? The challenge in her tone ignited a fire within Lily. I do my best, she said, surprising herself with the steadiness of her voice. I've worked hard for everything I've achieved. Is that so? Evelyn replied, her voice cool. What does that mean exactly? Before Lily could respond, Sarah, who had been lurking on the sidelines, interjected. Lily's done amazing things. She's a wonderful storyteller, and her perspective is so refreshing. The mention of her storytelling seemed to shift the mood slightly, and a few other guests began to nod in agreement, their eyes warming toward her. Evelyn tilted her head, evaluation mixed with newfound interest. Storyteller? Is that your profession? Not yet, but I love to write, Lily said, determination spilling into her tone. It's a passion of mine. Interesting. Evelyn observed, her voice now softer but still with an undertone of challenge. Lily's heart pounded in response, perhaps she was making an impression after all. More voices joined in now, talking about their own interests, and for a moment, the atmosphere began to lift. Just as Lily found her footing, Robert's phone buzzed loudly in his pocket, jarring her back to reality. Robert checked the screen, his expression quickly shifting to concern. It's my father, he said, his brows furrowing. I need to take this. I'll be right back. Lily's breath caught in her throat as he pulled away. She was left standing before Evelyn, the intensity of the moment magnifying. What had started as a small victory now felt dangerously fragile. You're not what I imagined, Evelyn said, cutting through the tension. Is that good or bad? Lily shot back, caught off guard by her own boldness. Evelyn's lips curved into a smirk. That remains to be seen. And with that, the game had begun. It was a challenge of hearts, a test of wills. Will Lily rise to meet the expectations of not just Robert's mother but herself? She would need more than courage, she needed to dig deep, proving her worth and leaving behind the shadows of doubt that lingered. With the stakes now higher than ever, the night was far from over. What would Evelyn really think of her once the words had faded, and the true Lily remained? Lily stood frozen, the weight of Evelyn's gaze heavy on her. It felt like they were in a chess match, each move carrying immense significance. She glanced at the guests around them, smiles plastered on faces, whispers curling in the air like smoke. They were watching. They were judging. Evelyn took a step closer, her eyes piercing through Lily's confident facade. Tell me, Lily, what kind of stories do you tell? The question dripped with a subtext that was hard to ignore. It was an invitation, a challenge, and for a moment, fear gripped her. I write about ordinary people and their extraordinary moments, Lily replied, pushing aside the doubt that clawed at her. Everyone has a story worth telling, even if they don't see it. The assertiveness in her voice surprised her. Interesting perspective, Evelyn replied, her tone oddly neutral. But can you see the extraordinary in a world like this? She gestured around, and it felt like a gauntlet had been thrown. Lily opened her mouth, wanting to retort but not wanting to provoke further. The words were there, hovering, and she had to swallow hard to keep them from escaping. She shook her head slowly. I think it's all about perspective. What you see depends on how you choose to view it. Evelyn smiled, but it was sharp, like a knife ready to cut. Very philosophical. But I hope you understand that not everyone will appreciate that viewpoint. The tension between them thickened, and Lily's heart raced anew. Just as she felt the weight of the moment could smother her, a soft voice broke through. "Are you writing about us?" Sarah asked, her youthful exuberance a welcome distraction. "Because I think you should." Lily felt a rush of gratitude toward Sarah. She could sense the other guests leaning in, intrigued now not just by Evelyn's challenge, but by Lily's boldness. "Perhaps I should," Lily replied, brushing past the discomfort that lingered. "Writing is about connection. I think it's what we're doing here right now." Evelyn sighed, her gaze softening just a fraction. "You're quite tenacious for someone so different." The word hung in the air, heavy with implication. Lily clenched her fists, fighting the wave of doubt crashing over her. Was she merely Samuel's daughter, just another mark on the list of failures? Or was she someone who could stand in the face of this challenge? "Different can be good," Lily stated, her voice now steady and filled with a strength she didn't know she possessed. "It offers new perspectives. It ignites change." The flickering lights around them felt warmer now. A few guests nodded, faces lighting up with encouragement. And for a brief moment, Lily could see a glimmer of approval in Evelyn's eyes. Then, just as quickly as it had softened, Evelyn's demeanor shifted again. "But can you handle the reality of this world, Lily?" she asked, her tone inciting doubt rather than inviting conversation. As the question hung in the air, Robert returned, looking slightly frazzled. "I'm sorry about that," he said, scanning the atmosphere. The tension was palpable. "Everything okay?" "Just getting to know your lovely mother," Lily replied, forcing a smile. Robert looked between them, confusion crossing his face. "Right." Evelyn nodded, her expression inscrutable. "Lily has quite the view on life, dear. I'm still processing." "Good," Robert said, placing a hand on Lily's back, a sign of his support. But Lily could feel the tremor of uncertainty in his stance, the way he searched their faces for answers. Realizing the moment could tilt either way, Lily stepped forward, embracing vulnerability. "It's not about fitting in," she said, her voice stronger than before. "It's about finding where you belong." Evelyn's eyes narrowed at Lily, questioning perhaps whether she understood the world at all. As the crowd buzzed around them again, both women stood their ground. The challenge was clear now. Lily realized she needed to break past the expectations surrounding her if she was going to have a chance to transform not just her life, but potentially Evelyn's view as well. With uncertainty brewing in the air, and the stakes climbing, what would be the pivotal moment that would redefine their relationship? Would it be a shared secret, a moment of honesty, or a revelation that neither could foresee? The night felt heavy with potential and tension, and as Lily prepared for the next move, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was on the edge of something monumental. Lily felt the buzz of the crowd around her, voices blending into a constant hum, but all she could focus on was Evelyn's guarded expression. It was like being held at arm's length. She could see the significance of the moment, the way this conversation could really shift their dynamic, but there was a barrier. "Lily, dear," Evelyn said, her voice suddenly smooth and cold, "I do believe everyone has their own place." The slight smile was almost predatory. "But not every place is meant to be filled, don't you agree?" A chill ran down Lily's spine. Was this woman really challenging her capacity to belong? "I believe everyone deserves a chance to find theirs," Lily replied, raising her chin defiantly, feeling newfound resolve. "Ah, but what if that chance comes with conditions?" Evelyn raised an eyebrow, clearly enjoying the mental sparring. "What lengths would you go to keep that place if it were threatened?" Before Lily could respond, Robert intervened again, his brow furrowing. "Mom, maybe you should let her answer," Evelyn interrupted sharply, turning back to Lily with an intensity that was hard to ignore. Lily's heart raced, adrenaline coursing through her veins. It felt like the world was shrinking down to just the two of them in that moment. All those voices around them faded as she focused on her answer. Would it be about self-preservation or throwing caution to the wind for the sake of connection? Life is full of risks, Lily said slowly, her voice steady. If you never take the leap, you might miss out on something incredible. Evelyn's eyes sparked with something curiosity, admiration, or maybe even something deeper. No sooner had Lily said it than she felt a rush well up inside. It was as if her words had unlocked a cage, freeing her spirit to soar just a bit higher. Quite the bold statement. I suppose you mean experiences like this? Evelyn gestured with a sweep of her hand, acknowledging the party around them. And what makes you think you're equipped to handle them? After all, you come from a different world. Different, yes, but not lesser, Lily shot back, surprised by her own intensity. The guests around them shifted. Whispers danced like confetti, sparks of intrigue igniting. Sarah, emboldened by the moment, piped up, "You're amazing, Lily." The support filled the air, making it feel electric. Evelyn briefly flinched at the shift in focus, but she reined it in quickly. Enjoy it while you can, dear. Not all that glitters is gold. A slight crack formed in her polished exterior, and Lily caught it. There was a moment of vulnerability there, a hint of regret flickering behind Evelyn's cool facade. What do you mean by that? Lily asked, her voice gentle yet firm. It was a vulnerable opening, one that stirred something within her. Evelyn hesitated, her gaze flicking to Robert, who was still watching with concern. For a second, it seemed like a wall would crumble, like a door might open. My dear, Evelyn finally said, her voice almost a whisper. You can shine like a diamond, but you can still be surrounded by coal. The metaphor hung thick in the air, and silence descended over them. Lily could feel the heaviness of that statement, the weight it carried in Evelyn's world. It was a moment that could bond them or drive a wedge deeper. Just then, a loud crash echoed from the kitchen. The sound sliced through the fragile atmosphere, shattering the tension with the appearance of chaos. With a collective gasp, guests turned toward the kitchen entrance, but Lily's attention remained glued to Evelyn. Would she take a step back into her guarded shell, or would this moment spark the openness so desperately needed? Evelyn shifted slightly, her expression unreadable again, masking whatever had been revealed in that fleeting second between them. What was that? Robert asked, looking worried. I'd better check it out. As he moved to leave, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that the true upheaval wasn't in the kitchen, it was within Evelyn. Was this party the place for that revelation? As the crowd buzzed with excitement, a question lingered. In the air, what would she uncover in the moments ahead, and had they really made any progress or were they just beginning to unravel a much bigger story? Lily's heart pounded loudly in her chest, a drumbeat that matched the chaos erupting from the kitchen. She glanced at Robert, his brows knitted in concern. Instinctively, she reached for his arm, feeling the warmth of his skin contrasted against her own rising anxiety. Maybe I should go with you, she suggested, her voice barely above a whisper. No. Robert's response surprised them both, urgent and a little panicked. It's just. I'll be right back. He cast one last look back at the scene where his mother stood, a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes before he slipped away to investigate. The crowd buzzed around Lily like bees, snippets of conversations tangled together, curiosity, laughter, and hints of gossip all swirling in a chaotic vortex. But all the noise faded when she returned her gaze to Evelyn. Now, the older woman looked even more distant, her eyes clouding over as she stared into the space beyond the guests. Are you all right? Lily asked cautiously, wanting to breach the distance Evelyn had put between them. Evelyn's lips tightened into a thin line. I suppose I've been caught off guard, she admitted, the words coming out reluctantly, almost as if admitting weakness. The facade of the poised socialite began to crack slightly. It seems like the party is a bit too lively for your taste, Lily pressed gently, her heart softening at the unexpected glimpse of openness in Evelyn's demeanor. Honestly, it's never really been my scene, Evelyn said, her voice lowering as she waved off wandering guests who approached the two women. "I've always preferred quieter gatherings, where the atmosphere was more controlled, predictable. And here you are, holding court for a room full of unpredictability," Lily observed. There was an electric thrill lacing her words, and she kept her gaze steady on Evelyn, searching for the truth behind that icy smile. Evelyn's facade sometimes concealed something heartbreaking, and that intrigued Lily. "I never wanted to be a part of all this," Evelyn finally said, her eyes glinting with something raw. "But sometimes, it feels like you have to choose a role to play, especially in a world that demands so much from you. Is that why you pushed me away?" It slipped out before Lily could stop herself. "Because I'm different?" Evelyn's expression shifted, a flicker of frustration mixed with something deeper crossing her features. "What you call different is a privilege in disguise, my dear. Others would kill for your life, for your freedom. It's not about pushing anyone away. It's about protecting what I have left." Lily felt a pang of empathy wash over her. "I'm not here to take anything from you. I just want to help." "Help?" Evelyn cut her off, amusement flickering in her eyes, but the humor didn't reach her voice. "Help. Yes, it's a noble goal. But in my world, that often comes with strings and consequences." "Maybe those strings can be cut," Lily replied quietly. The words hung in the air, a challenge and an invitation all wrapped together. They were approaching a precipice. Lily could feel it, the air thick with tension and curiosity. She wondered if Evelyn could see the way forward, to a place where they could both belong. Just then, the kitchen door swung open with a loud bang. A young waiter emerged, his white shirt stained with sauce after stumbling into the pantry. Laughter erupted from the crowd, cutting through the intensity of their conversation. As the chaos pulsed anew, Lily caught Evelyn gazing at the scene, a mask of amusement beginning to replace the earlier tension. But underneath, Lily sensed an unshakable resolve, a nagging anxiety that would soon rise again. With the crowd's laughter washing over them like a wave, Lily felt invigorated. They didn't have all the answers yet, and there was much more to uncover between them. But she sensed that each moment of vulnerability would gradually weave them closer together. And just as that thought blossomed, she swore she caught a fleeting glimpse of the real Evelyn, stripped of barriers. What would it take to reach her heart completely? What more layers of understanding lay in the shadows of their conversation? As the night spiraled on, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that the truth was lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Would she dare to wait for it? Lily inhaled deeply, letting the tempest of emotions settle around her like a whirlwind. With Evelyn's defenses momentarily down, it felt like a chance to build a bridge between their worlds. She opened her mouth to speak, but a shout from the kitchen startled her back to the present. "Robert!" The voice was sharp, quickening the heartbeat of the party. Robert re-emerged from the chaos, his face pale. Lily's stomach dropped. "What happened?" she asked, stepping toward him. Her instinct to comfort took over. "It's not good," he said, swallowing hard. "Mom, it's worse than I thought. She's really upset." His voice was strained, eyes darting toward Evelyn for answers. Lily glanced back at Evelyn, whose expression had transformed into one of concern. The facade was melting, revealing the mother she had known as a child. Lily began to suggest, but Robert shook his head. "No, I don't think that's a good idea right now," he said quickly. "I think I need to handle this." He moved toward his mother, but Lily felt the pull to stay with her. Uncertainty hung in the air, and she sensed this moment was pivotal. "Robert, wait," she called softly. He turned, a mix of frustration and vulnerability flashing in his eyes. "What is it? Is there anything I can do to help?" she offered. Her heart raced at the thought of needing to step over the invisible threshold separating her from both Robert and Evelyn. He hesitated, searching her face, and Lily felt a rush of hope mixed with fear. "Just be here," Stay close, he finally replied, his voice tight. As Robert stepped away, Lily turned back to Evelyn. Seeing the woman's expression shifting once again, she approached slowly. Evelyn, you don't have to go through this alone. You have people who care. Evelyn clenched her fists, her body taut with unresolved emotions. Care? That's a dangerous word. It implies risk, and I can't afford any more of it. The previous warmth faded, leaving behind icy resolve. But what if letting someone in is what you need? Lily pressed, determined to peel back the layers of uncertainty. Sometimes, the risk is worth it. Evelyn's gaze shifted, a flicker of something softer passing through her eyes. You're naive, dear. You think the world is just colors and light. There's always a shadow lurking behind every smile. You're wrong, Lily insisted, her voice steady. Shadows can't exist without light. You have to let both coexist. At that, Evelyn looked away, her jaw tightened as the music swung back toward a cheery tune. Laughter rang out from the crowd, a stark contrast to the moment unfolding just behind the social facade. Suddenly, another crash echoed from the kitchen. This time it was accompanied by a loud cheer rather than fear. Lily couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Even amidst chaos, there were moments of joy, aren't there? A reluctant smile crept onto Evelyn's lips, but it faded too quickly for Lily's comfort. Joy doesn't pay the bills, sweetheart, she replied, a hint of bitterness lacing her words. Lily felt her heart clench. But it feeds the soul, she countered, feeling the intensity of the moment thickening in the air between them. Feeding spirits doesn't matter if there's nothing left to feed them, Evelyn whispered, her resolve cracking yet again. The back and forth slipped into a painful silence, electric with tension. Just then, Robert returned, his expression one of worry mixed with determination. We need to go. Mom, please let us step outside. One glance at his face told Lily he was trying to hold his own fears at bay. She felt torn again, wanting to bridge the gap between Robert's world and Evelyn's turbulent emotions. Would they ever find a way to connect in the storm? As they stepped toward the door, leaving the laughter behind, Lily wondered what awaited them outside. How could she help Evelyn face whatever was hiding in the dark? Would defying the shadows bind them closer or push Evelyn even further away? With the chill of the night air rushing forward, so many unanswered questions lingered, tightening in her chest. Did they have the strength to face what lay ahead? The door creaked as Robert pushed it open, and a gust of chilly air met them, a stark reminder of the day's tensions lingering just outside the warmth of the party. The dim backyard was bathed in the soft glow of fairy lights, shimmering like distant stars, but they did little to illuminate the heaviness in the air. Lily stepped outside, holding her breath as the coolness wrapped around her like a cloak. She felt a deep ache in her chest, wanting to reach out to Evelyn but unsure how to breach that final wall. The night felt infinite, yet each moment stretched into an eternity filled with potential for connection or for greater heartache. Mom, please just talk to me, Robert said, his voice firm yet laced with desperation. He stood close to Evelyn, hands shoved deep in his pockets, bracing himself against the emotional chill radiating from her. Evelyn looked up at Robert, her eyes searching, and for a moment, it felt like time froze. Do you know how many times I've been shattered, Robert? She said, her voice barely more than a whisper. Each time I open up, I risk losing everything all over again. Lily watched the back and forth between them, the raw pain of a mother and son seeking truth within a tangled mess of love and loss. She wanted to step in, to smooth the ruffled feathers between them, but she remained silent, fearing to interrupt their dance of vulnerability. Mom, I can handle it. I'm not a kid anymore, Robert replied, his determination casting a light somewhere between hope and anger. You think you can handle me? Evelyn laughed, though there was no joy in it, just a hollow sound that echoed in the stillness. You don't know the half of it. Lily felt the urge to interject, to remind them of the laughter still bubbling from inside of the life waiting to be embraced despite the shadows. What if this is the moment to bring everything to light? She finally piped up, her voice steady, but her heart raced. Evelyn turned to her, eyes narrowed with interest but not quite trusting. "Light can hurt, you know," she said, the bitterness returning to her tone. "Or it can heal," Lily countered softly, stepping closer, letting the words hang in the air. "Sometimes, truth is the first step toward peace." Robert glanced at Lily, and for a heartbeat, she saw a flicker of appreciation in his gaze. "Mom, if you let us in, I promise we won't shatter your world. We want to help you carry it." Evelyn closed her eyes briefly, a quiver dancing on her lips. "It's not that simple." "It never is," Lily said gently, "but it starts with a willingness to try." The silence returned, thickening the air, and in that moment, Lily felt the weight of unspoken fears and dreams intertwining. It was a leap, but she couldn't walk away without trying. "You don't have to face this alone, Evelyn. Let us walk with you, even if the path is hard." As the words settled, Robert took a small step forward, reaching for Evelyn's hand. "Believe me, Mom, I'll always be right here. Whatever is out there, we will face it together." Evelyn opened her eyes, and they shimmered with unshed tears. The moment was fragile, like glass, but there was an undeniable warmth beginning to forge a connection. "Can you really, though?" she finally asked, the strength drained from her voice. Before anyone could respond, a loud cheer erupted from the party inside, a stark reminder of life beyond their own turmoil. The warmth of joy rushed in, clashing with the chill of doubt. The tension released slightly, but questions remained, heavy in the air. Would Evelyn allow herself to be vulnerable? Could they really face the riddles that had entangled them for so long? And as Lily stood amidst the dark, her heart swelled with both hope and anxiety. She wondered what tomorrow would bring. Would they take the leap? Just then, the door swung wide open, laughter spilling out. A familiar voice called, "Hey, you three. Are you coming back in? We need more bodies on the dance floor." An invitation washed through the tension, an opportunity beckoning. Would they step back inside, forget the weight of the world? For one night, or dive deeper into the shadows lurking just beneath? With the warmth seemingly calling to them, Lily could only wonder what would happen next. Lily's heart raced as she stood under the soft glow of the fairy lights. Robert's hand still held hers, a steady anchor in the swirling uncertainty around them. The laughter and cheers from inside felt like a world apart, mixing joy with the weight of unresolved tensions outside. Evelyn blinked away the tears threatening to fall, somewhere caught between pride and vulnerability. It's hard to open up because her voice quivered slightly, as if searching for the right words, because there's so much at stake. "Mom, we want to help you. We can navigate this storm together," Robert urged gently, stepping closer to his mother, opening the space for connection. Taking a breath, Lily interjected, "Evelyn, you've always been more than a mother. You've been a leader in this world filled with expectations. But what if you let yourself be human again?" Her words hung in the air, trembling with hope. The silence that followed felt fragile yet charged with a kind of possibility they've all been longing for. Slowly, Evelyn's expression shifted, the familiar poise of her social facade slipping away to reveal a hint of something softer, a glimmer of acceptance. "I've felt so alone," Evelyn confessed, the words spilling out like a long-held secret. "I've been so busy trying to uphold a legacy that I forgot what it meant to love unconditionally, to truly let people in." Tears streamed down her cheeks, carving paths through the meticulous makeup. Lily felt a rush of compassion. "Being vulnerable doesn't make you weak, it makes you brave, Eve. We all have our fears, but facing them with the people who care is what makes the journey meaningful." Robert nodded, his voice imbued with gentle urgency. "Mom, it's okay to be scared. But we're here, and we won't back down. Not now, not ever." Evelyn took a shaky breath, her heart visibly wrestling with long-held emotions. But what if I fail you both? There was a raw edge of fear buried in her words. Then we'll rise again, Robert reassured her, squeezing her hand firmly, and that promise felt like a lifeline they could hold on to. Together, Lily echoed, stepping closer to weave her arm into theirs, the three of them forming a circle of connection strong enough to withstand anything. The air around them began to shift, what once held the tension of the unknown now bristled with courage and solidarity. As the familiarity of laughter from the party whispered like a beckoning breeze, they shared a tentative smile. Hope flowed through them in a way it hadn't for so long. "Let us go back inside," Evelyn said, her voice steadying. "Let them see me. Let us all be seen." With a deep breath, they turned toward the door, Lily leading the way, a wave of courage washing over them. As they stepped back into the pulsing energy of the party, the atmosphere shifted. Guests turned toward them, and for the first time, it felt like they were stepping into shared light rather than shadow. "Okay, everyone," Robert called, his voice ringing with newfound determination, "this is my mother, Evelyn. And she needs to be part of our world more than ever." Applause erupted, genuine and vibrant, but it was the shared thrill of acceptance that truly resonated in the air. Evelyn managed a smile, a spark of light flickering back into her eyes. Lily felt her own heart swell with joy as she caught the contagious laughter bouncing around them. In that moment, with the warmth washing over them, Lily understood that the connections they were forging were a bridge built not just between them, but across the chasm of their individual fears and burdens. As music flowed and bodies swayed in rhythm, they danced together, weaving in and out like threads in a tapestry of love and resilience. The kind of joy that flows between moments was the kind that reminded Lily of her childhood holidays, the sweet chaos of family all around. In the depths of her heart, she realized that each person, no matter the past or circumstance, held the potential to change not just their own story but also those around them. Their laughter rang out, a choir of smooth vulnerability. And together they breathed through the barriers that once separated them. And as the night unfolded, Lily felt the embrace of newfound family, one that would stand strong against whatever darkness might still linger. No more cold shadows. No more hiding. They had chosen warmth. And in that choice, they had found one another. Now is the time for action. You need to subscribe now to follow their journey and not miss any exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let everyone know about the power of transformation. Comment your feelings about this heartwarming ending. You must share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this triumphant story of hope. Don't wait not even one more second. True fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.